the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Thank you for being with us, America. We're so glad you're here. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour podcast on the Ramsey Networks with our own George Camel, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Starting this hour is Tamara in Little Rock, Arkansas. Hey, Tamara, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So we are a military family, and we don't plan on buying a house until my husband retires from the military in about 10 years. Being such a long-term goal, how much should we be setting aside now each month for a house?
Wow. Well, thanks for your service. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Do you guys know where in 10 years where you think you want to end up?
We don't at this point.
Okay. Where are you guys at on the baby steps? Do you guys have consumer debt?
Nope. We're in baby steps 4 through 6 at this point.
Okay. That's
Excellent.
awesome.
Excellent.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, I mean, it's a decade away. So I'm like, what the housing market's going to be like, where you guys want to end up. I mean, there's a lot still in the air. So, I mean, I would just, have a goal of setting maybe a percentage of my income aside every month. So more of a percentage than a dollar amount so that you guys can still enjoy life. I mean, y'all are on baby steps 4 through 6. So it's, you want to be able to, not stress about it too much, but obviously plan, which I think is really wise. So yeah, I would find a percentage of your income that, you could set aside and kind of start working. And then as you guys get closer, like in 5 years, maybe some options kind of start to shrink of where, and you can kind of look, right? Because I mean, if you're going to be buying in Silicon Valley versus Des Moines, I mean, those are very, two very separate price points. So as you guys kind of narrow down, hey, here's where we want to end up, that probably will help navigate how much more to save the closer you get to that goal.
What's your household income?
We're about $70,000 a year.
Okay. And you have, are you using military housing or are you renting?
Correct. Yes, we live on base, so we use our basic allowance for housing to cover that.
Okay. Well, if you just kind of started laying out some goals and said, hey, we want $200,000, then that'd be $20,000 a year, right?
Correct.
And that'd be pretty cool. Or if we want $100,000, it'd be $10,000 a year, whatever it is. Just start saying, let's start aiming at a goal. I always think what ends up happening is your life tends to, and your numbers and your budget, within reason, tend to mold themselves around whatever your goal is. Not having a goal and just having a general idea, we ought to be saving for house. I would put down a particular number, and then that gives you something to form your budget around and aim at. And I don't even care what the number is. I just think there needs to be a number. Does that make sense?
Right.
So, I mean, 200 sounds fun. That might be a little stressful on 70. But
we did set up a brokerage account that we've been investing in. So we have about $19,000 in at this point.
That's over and above your emergency fund.
Correct. Yes, we have $20,000.
Oh, good. Then you only need $18,000 a year to get to 200.
Yeah, and we also thought. I know I've heard you say before that you can kind of plan to save up like a rent payment if your goal is more of a long-term goal.
Exactly.
So we're trying to get to that point. It's saving up, let's say, $1,500 or even $2,000, but at this point it just seems too tight for us to be able to do that.
$1,500 would be $18,000 a year. That would get you, plus the 19 that you've got, that would get you to 200. But we're making this number up. It's not we could have said 300, or we could have said, whatever we said. But so the point being, just if I were you guys, I would say, okay, this is my target. That's what I'm aiming at. Because if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. And so you want to aim at something very specific. And even if you don't make it all the way, at least you've got a game plan and you're moving in the right direction. But when it's has nothing tied to it, then that would mess you up. I don't want to do that. Jessica's in Houston. Hi, Jessica. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, guys. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hoping you could help us settle a disagreement. My husband and I are on baby step 2. We're getting about $5,000 back from our taxes. We are both self-employed. I would like to take that money and just throw it at our debt. However, my husband would like to take that money and purchase a vehicle for his business. He's a transportation company. His reason for wanting to buy the vehicle is it would help him bring in more income to throw at our debt. I'm just a little more hesitant.
He's going to buy a $5,000 car.
Get out of debt.
He's going to buy a $5,000 car. Did you
spend it on the car?
Did you say he's going to buy a $5,000 car? Is that what you're telling me?
It'd be a 22-passenger van is what he's looking at buying.
For $5,000?
Used one. Yes.
Can you get that? For $5,000?
Possibly.
No, he's wanting to go into debt to buy a 22-passenger van, and $5,000 is the down payment. You're not telling me he can find a 22-passenger van for $5,000. I ain't riding in that.
How much debt do you guys have left, Jessica?
We have a credit card, a loan, and then 2 vehicles. One is my vehicle, and then one is his business vehicle.
How much does that all total? Do you know?
It's about $60,000.
Okay.
And your household income is what?
It varies because we're both self-employed, so I would say between $60,000 to $80,000.
Mm-hmm.
And how on board is he with paying off this $60,000 in debt? Is he pumped? Is he excited?
A little bit. I think I'm more wanting to attack the debt and get that paid off.
Yep.
He's
totally
on board for sure.
So the proper answer, or the proper way to set the call up is, I am on baby step 2, and I'm dragging my husband with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the disagreement. So the disagreement's not really over the 22-passenger van or the $5,000. The disagreement really is over you guys are not on the same page.
Okay.
He's just going along with you. He's not engaged in this.
Yeah, he's not an active participant in this goal that you guys have of getting out of debt, right? If y'all were both on the same team attacking the exact same thing, then this would be a really easy answer of course, it's $5,000 towards the debt, because that's the answer. But I would really work, Jessica, and you guys focus again on, hey, what's our goal in our marriage? Like, what are we doing as a team? That's more of the discussion you guys need to be having.
If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save 40% off selected products. Visit Blinds.com today for more info. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality. My daughter is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ashley is with us in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited to talk to you guys.
You too. What's up, kiddo?
So my husband and I are looking into maybe starting a new business. We are totally debt-free with a paid-for house. We have 1 year of emergency funds saved up.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been following you and doing you for 7 years since we got married. And so we just got debt-free not too long ago and paid our house off about a month ago.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, Ashley.
Way to go.
Thank you. So I love food. I love making food. People really seem to respond well when I post things on Facebook, sharing things, and they have actually come to us wanting us to maybe start a food truck or like a cafe of some kind. We talked to our CPA, and he was leaning more towards a food truck. He said that the overhead was less. They were less likely to not go under because of all the overhead. But my concern with the food truck, we have been looking into them, is, of course, it would still be considered a depreciating asset, correct? Even if we paid cash and saved up for it, it's still depreciating versus a brick and mortar. I mean, I guess if we don't own it, we're still paying rent. So I just didn't know if you were leaned one way or the other.
I would not decide my business model based on either one of those things or based on a CPA's advice.
Okay.
You need to decide your business model on what your dream is. What do you want to operate? Do you want to operate a food truck? Do you want to operate a brick and mortar? And then let's figure out how to pay for it and how to make the money how to make it profitable. Right.
Gotcha.
And is there another in between step, like start catering as a start and start to build up your customer base from catering? I know several excellent chefs that have big operations now that started as catering.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what's your end goal, Ashley? Do you want to be a
restaurant owner?
Yeah, do you want to is there a big dream, or is it more just a passion of yours and you love it and it's something to do on the side that's really fun?
I've always wanted to be more of a chef. The food end part of it is more my dream and passion. My husband was in the food industry for a while, and he actually was the business side of it. So as far as that, I think the brick and mortar, having a small cafe, I'm thinking something kind of small scale of the Cracker Barrel. I'd love to have a little store inside and be able to combine healthy, whole food, plant-based foods with more regular foods, like a blend of the two. So my husband eats burgers and fries and steak.
I think the only reason you're considering a food truck is doesn't sound congruent with this dream.
Gotcha.
The cafe sounds congruent with the dream.
It does, yeah. Now that you're talked me through that, it does, yeah.
Yeah. It just feels like it the way you say it out loud. And here's the thing. Your CPA is right about one thing. Restaurants have a higher failure rate than almost any other business category.
Really?
Yeah. And so you've got to really lean in on the business operations part, not just the food quality. Okay? If you make the best and healthiest food on the planet and no one is there, this isn't going to work.
Right.
And so there's the marketing and the operations of this. And what I would do is I probably would start as a catering operation and build a customer base and then look for a place to lease. Don't buy a piece of real estate, and build you out a little restaurant, and your leasehold improvements that you put in there will be a depreciating asset too.
But Ashley, and tell me if I'm wrong. But this could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. This isn't just a little thing. And I wonder if that's why the CPA was a food truck is going to be way less expensive to get something going.
Not necessarily. If you found a location that the building was there and someone else had something in there,
kitchen in there,
some of the commercial kitchen items are in there. You go in and renovate. You might spend less than a food truck to renovate it. It's possible, and to upgrade it, get it the fresh coat of paint, and that'll work. You could start with a food truck if you want to. But the question is just what you want to do for the next 5 years of your life. And I think you want to cook, and I think he wants to run a restaurant. And that doesn't sound like a food truck to me.
Yeah.
That's a different gig. It's a different feel.
And even Ashley, like, we've been to a few places over the last probably 2 or 3 years, people's homes for events, and they have someone come in and cook. And the chef guy brings his cart around. He's like, next time you guys have a party, I can do a dinner for 8 of your friends, or like, whatever it is. And I'm like, if you get the right people in a room that taste your food, that then spread the word, right? Like there's ways to do it. So the catering, if that's what you were meaning, but even coming in and cooking for friends and having them bring friends, and you can start small just to get the word out about what you're doing, because it sounds great. But also, I just know restaurant, it's just a big investment. Like when you hear
hard business. When
you hear brick and mortar, I mean, it's just, you're gonna be having staff. If there's not already a kitchen, how much those appliances cost. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. Not that it can't be done, Ashley, but it's a feat to take on. So it's you guys really
drop $100,000 in a truck, and you can drop $100,000 into your leasehold improvements, either one, real quickly. Yeah. Make sure you've got the cash, and that way then the only overhead you've got is your lease and your payroll. And your food.
I just know there's like I just can think of probably 3 or 4 food trucks, and I don't know, that started as food trucks that ended up becoming restaurants because their brand was so big here in Nashville that they opened up a restaurant because of that. So I'm just wondering, that's not a stair-stepping
It can
way.
be, but then you either continue to operate both, or you've got this extra truck left over.
Yeah.
So the question is what she wants to do. I mean, I'm with you on the idea of starting some chefing in home stuff. We were at a high-end charity event, your mom and I, the other day, and the food was incredible. She collects the chef's card, and he's helping us with the family reunion that's coming up. So I mean, that's how you get the business out. And so but you can build a clientele based on that. And then like we have friends that are chefs that do in-home stuff, and if they ever open something, we'd be a customer.
Right.
So because we're a customer now, that kind of thing. Same kind of thing with this guy. And that's a process there that you can go through. And pick up the book, The E-Myth by Gerber, and read that. He talks a lot about learning to work on your business, not just in your business. Because being a chef is one of the pieces you have to do to operate a successful restaurant. The other pieces are business orientation that your husband has, apparently, and I would lean into all of that. I really, really would. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thank you for listening out there, America. We appreciate you. If you are new to the Ramsey Show and you're trying to figure out what in the world are we talking about, debt snowballs, baby steps, what does all these words, all this vernacular mean? Well, you can go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. The Get Started button. It is a free process to help you figure out what you're looking for in this Ramsey journey and how we can best serve you on this Ramsey journey, where you are now and what your next steps are, all those kinds of things. So click Get Started at RamseySolutions.com, and we'll get you moving. And you become acquainted with the baby steps and the debt snowball and all those kinds of things if you just keep listening to the show. We'll keep talking about it, and you'll start to understand what we're dealing with, and you'll look it up, and you'll watch a YouTube video, or some people go through. If you want to do the best thing you can do, go through Financial Peace University, and that'll line you up and get you on the fast track to doing everything and getting control of your money and changing everything. So all of that to say that we're here to help you. So check it out at RamseySolutions.com.
Y'all, there's a lot you can't control when it comes to healthcare, but there is something you should check out that can help. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not insurance. It is budget-friendly, biblically based health cost sharing. That means a community of members helping share the burden of each other's healthcare costs. They help people just like you in all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Learn more today at chministries.org/budget.
Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Up next is Jeff in Indianapolis. Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Well, hello, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, looking to, at the risk of sounding foolish, ask a question about 401ks. 58 years old, got like $20K in debt, credit cards. Looking to see if maybe I should make a withdrawal from my 401k and pay them off and get going forward on wealth building.
Jeff, how much do you make a year?
Approximately 100.
Okay. No, I wouldn't. I would continue having that money sitting in your 401k, and I would just cash flow it. I mean, you make great money, and this $20K, you could knock it out in a few months. With just your income.
Yeah, 100,000 minus 20 is 80. I think you could struggle through on that for 1 year.
Yeah. If you take the 100 minus taxes and all that, it doesn't leave 80.
I know.
But yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
It's not that basically simple. I mean, if we didn't have taxes, I mean, my taxes could pay for this.
Well, absolutely it could. But so the thing is this. That $20,000 is going to be worth a lot of money in that 401k in the future if you leave it alone. Plus, I'm pretty sure until 59 and a half, you're going to get penalized, aren't you, if you take it out?
Correct. And I just figured that would be what you could refer to as stupid tax.
Yeah. Well, it would be a 10% penalty plus your tax rate, which we have established to be around 30-something% at this point. And so that means you're going to say, hey, I'm going to borrow money at 40% interest to pay off my credit cards.
That's a great way to look at it.
So yeah, I wouldn't do that either. And I like that money, and they're growing. And I love the idea that just tighten up your budget and let's reverse the trend that caused the credit card debt, which was overspending. And so we're going to try a new thing called underspending, and tighten it up, man, and get that chop up those cards, have plastic surgery, and get a fresh start. That's what I would do. Joshua is in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Hey, Joshua, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you guys for having me.
Sure. What's up?
I was calling just to see what the best way to go about baby step 3B is. I have a piece of property that I'm intending to build a house on. The property does have a balance on it. So I was just curious if I should be saving in a savings account, or if I should be applying or saving towards paying off the property first, kind of like a baby step 2, or what you guys recommend.
And have it in there. Yeah. Well, I mean, saving for short-term savings right now, at least for the house. Yeah. I think a high yield savings account or a money market account would be. How much do you have left on the land to pay off?
$55,000.
Okay. How much do you make a year?
I make $90,000.
What's it worth, the property?
The property's worth $225,000.
Okay. You can build now. When you take out a construction loan, they're going to pay off the balance and enroll it into the construction loan, because construction loans don't take a second mortgage position. And so if they stepped in and put a lien on the property, take out a $55,000, pay off the first, then that sets up to do the draws, to do the construction. You're building on the property with a contractor, I assume, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And currently you've got already $150,000+ in equity.
Right.
Yeah. So you could go ahead and start your build whenever. If you want to throw some cash in the bank to get ready to do that, that's okay. But once you've got your contractor in place and to put the construction loan in place, if you don't know how those work, they put that in place. It's a first mortgage. They'll have an immediate balance of $55,000, and then they'll draw on it at different stages of construction to pay the contractor as you go along. When it is completed, you will have already, before you take out the loan, been approved for your permanent mortgage. And the permanent mortgage issues what's called a takeout letter, because the takeout letter means the permanent mortgage is going to take out the construction loan when you're done. It rolls into, becomes a new, is refinanced into a permanent mortgage that'll have encompassed everything we're talking about, the land, the house, everything, and when you're done. And if you're careful and you watch what you're doing with your building process and you stay on budget and on schedule and per plan, don't do a whole bunch of change orders as you go along, you'll keep a really good margin in the build itself, and you'll end up with even more equity than just the equity in the land, because the house should be worth considerably more than it costs to build.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I was just thinking to get a lower payment. I know you guys are saying 25% of your take home. So, I was going to wait another 6 months or so, but I was just curious if I should apply that to the land or just put it in a savings account, like you said.
Well, here's the thing.
Have that
in 6 months. In 6 months, you're just coming out of the ground anyway.
Right.
It's going to take you a while to get plans finalized, get a contractor lined up. And pile up some cash during that time. But even then, when you just start coming out of the ground, you don't have payments on the construction loan.
Okay.
So,
awesome.
You're going to be piling up cash as you go along. And so by the time you get the construction all completed, a year from the time you break ground, maybe, something like that, then you've got an additional pile of cash that you've saved during that year that you'll put down and have a smaller permanent mortgage.
But obviously making sure your mortgage, like you're saying, Joshua, though, by the final permanent mortgage, once it's all done, is no more than 25% of your take-home pay. So obviously the amount of house you build is going to play a huge factor in this.
Yeah, so as long as you can make that formula work 18 months from today with the down payment plus the construction process, then you can start working towards everything right now. Take you about 6 months to put all your ducks in a row, then break ground a year to build the house. That's 18 months from now. Is the final balance that you end up with going to fit the 25%? And you can back into that and tell pretty quick once you put your budget together on the property. When you put the budget together, one of the things that's going to happen is you're going to go, oh my God, this is expensive. And then you'll maybe say, oh, I do need to wait 6 more months before I break ground to make those numbers line up at completion.
What I want.
Yeah, you want to bring it in at completion, net of savings and real equity positions, to where you don't have a payment that's more than a fourth of your take-home pay. So good stuff. Michelle is in Tampa. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Sure. What's up?
So my husband and I are in a position wanting to know what we should do with our savings. We have about $130,000 in cash.
Okay.
Where are you guys in the baby steps, Michelle? Do you guys have any consumer debt?
We have no credit card debt. We have no car loans, no student loans. We do have 2 mortgages. We have one residential where we live, and then we have one investment property.
Okay, how much are those? How much is left on your mortgage? On your primary home?
So primary, $330,000.
Okay, and how about the investment property?
$456,000.
It's a big investment property.
Yeah. What's your household income?
Combined $240,000.
Okay. Cool. Very good. Good for you guys. Well done. Well, what we teach is a process called the baby steps that Rachel was referring to. The first goal is $1,000 in the bank. You've obviously done that. 2 is you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. I'm sorry, 2 is you're debt-free except the house. You've done that, or except for your real estate. 3 is you build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Do you have that in addition to the $130,000, or is that $130,000 encompassed in that?
The 130 is encompassed.
Okay. So let's pull 50 of that aside and call that your emergency fund. You never touch that except for emergencies, which leaves us 80. And in that case, that would take us to start investing 15% of your household income into retirement, kids' college. So you could use this 80 towards kids' college if that's applicable, to start saving aggressive 529s. And if not, then we're going to start paying down your house. And I throw the 80 at your house. And that's exactly what I do. Because next goal is to get your house paid for. That's going to be a big building block in your wealth building. This is The Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here. Hey, if you've changed your life with the money principles we teach, chances are it's because someone you know lit a fire under you. Mom and Dad gave you Total Money Makeover as a gift. Your pastor had Financial Peace University at your church. Something happened that got you involved. Well, now's your chance to share the same hope that you've discovered with someone you love. The best way to do that is giving them the Live and Give box. This is the perfect gift for any newlywed or graduate in your life. It's everything they need to win with money. It comes with the best thing we do, Financial Peace University, and a Total Money Makeover book, my best-selling book ever, and my latest #1 bestseller, the Baby Steps Millionaires book. So right now you get all of that for a huge discount, only $89. Hey, that's happening just for a couple more days. Grab the Live and Give box right now at RamseySolutions.com. That's RamseySolutions.com. Derek's in Kansas City. Hi, Derek. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, everyone. New listener of about 1 week. I just graduated with my master's in geography last week. I have approximately $25,000 in student loan debt and about $7,000 in credit card debt. I currently have about a $1,200 emergency fund, but I also just accepted my first job, paying $35 an hour with no benefits on a year-long contract. I was hoping for advice on budgeting with my new job to pay off my debt while also making investments in retirement and the stock market and hoping to save money to buy my first home.
It's great, Derek. I mean, a lot of great goals, which we are all for all of that. Just, new home and investing and all of it. Just the order is what is really going to matter here. So,
you landed the new big job?
Yeah, it was quite, I had to really hold out, but I think it was worth it. So
what are you going to be making?
Well, $35 an hour, so a little bit over $70,000 before tax.
Good start.
After tax.
Good start.
Yeah, not
well
bad.
done.
What are you going to be doing with your degree?
So I do the computer side of geography, Geographic Information Systems, so GIS.
Yeah.
Working for city municipality.
Awesome. Good for you. That's so great. Yeah, Derek. So again, I mean, everything you listed out at the beginning of the call are all great goals to have. And again, ones that we're fans of. It's just the priority at which you do it is really important. And so we have found that one of the best ways to build wealth and to really fund a lot of those dreams of investing and getting a house is with your income. And so eliminating debt is really step number one. You have $1,200 saved, which is awesome for your starter emergency fund. And I would start attacking next the $7,000 in credit card debt. And are those in multiple cards or is it all in one?
Well, I have 2 credit cards, and I recently started spending more on the one that had a lower APR.
Yeah. Okay, so, one thing that I feel like we're just known for is getting out of debt and staying out of debt. So, Derek, I mean, I would recommend just go ahead and cutting up the cards, get a debit card, and use your money out of your account versus the banks and start working your way out of this and not starting a habit now of not depending on living on a credit card, because there is something so powerful about spending your own money and knowing what's going on. And if you hold on the line, Austin will pick up, because I want to give you Every Dollar Plus, which is our budgeting app, because that's going to help you really see your expenses and see, okay, here's exactly where my money's going. And that's everything from rent to food to insurance to fun. I mean, everything that you have in life is going to be listed out there, and you're going to really have a handle over when that first paycheck hits, that you're going to know exactly where it's going. And your first big goal is getting out of this debt. And so it's getting out of that $7,000 of credit card debt, and then your student loan, and then you'll work your way down the baby steps, which next would be a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses would be your next goal. And then that's when you start either saving up for a house and for a down payment of at least 5%, or just going right into baby step 4, which is funding retirement, 15% of your income. So again, it's gonna be a process, though. This all isn't gonna happen in the next few months. You really are gonna work this, and starting now, Derek, I think is awesome. So I'm so glad you called in, because the sooner you can start building these habits and working through the baby steps, time is on your side. And the fact that you're doing this now is huge, because it's only an uphill battle from here if you don't form these habits.
Yeah, and don't the thing that's really easy to do is get really excited. We graduate from college, you got a good job, way to go, congratulations. Don't celebrate that by being stupid. Don't celebrate that by going and buying a new car on payments. Don't celebrate that by going and buying a house while you still got debt coming out your ears, left over from college and left over from credit cards. Let's get the mess cleaned up. Because if you move in a house and you still have Sally Mae, you have to buy an extra bedroom just for her. And it's just not cool. Don't do that. So instead, let's go through the process. Yes, getting a house is a good thing, but buying a house at the wrong point while you still have debt and no savings, oh, that's dumb. That's going to cause you to have all kinds of problems. So the point is, doing a smart thing at the wrong time turns a smart thing into a dumb thing. And so don't do that. Let's lay this stuff out just exactly like Rachel said, with these baby steps, and plow right through that whole process there. And to go along with the Every Dollar app, we'll throw in the book, The Total Money Makeover, which gives you every detail on the baby steps and why they're in the order that they're in. And really, Rachel, where those came from is people asking questions 30 years ago, and that's how long we've been teaching this stuff, Derek. Like him, okay, yeah. I got all these different things I want to do. Where do I start? What's the first thing to do? What's the second thing to do? Just give me a plan. Give me a clear path. And that's why this has been so successful. And, tens of millions of people now have followed that process. And it really is all based in basic personal finance and basic planning, financial planning technique. A few things we nuanced and came up with some ideas to make it real clear and easy to grasp and execute. Yeah. But the basic concepts, the framework of all of that is nothing really new. We didn't invent it. We just made it very clear, very applicable, and talked a whole bunch of people into doing it.
Yeah, and that's what's hard.
It caused them to get out of debt and build wealth.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Derek, where he is in life, I'm like, yeah, you get out of school, get your first job, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many things, which thankfully he's even thinking about it, because some people just float through life for a few years until they're like, oh gosh, I need to save for retirement. So he's thinking about this stuff early on in the process. And again, it's all good stuff. I mean, everything that you said, I'm like, yes, absolutely. We're for all of that. But it's that order. And that's the thing, is I think people get scattered, and you take your income and it's like, yeah, we'll put some here, put some there, and they don't see a lot of traction and progress. That's why the baby steps is so helpful, is you get one at a time, check them off, and you have focused intensity, especially through those baby steps 1 through 3, that you know what you're doing. You have a goal. There's something out there that you're reaching for, and you're saying, okay, this is debt. My debt payoff, I'm in baby step 2. And everything is focused on that. And when you see progress, it gives you hope that, okay, I can do this.
And another example of that is doing stuff in the wrong order is, what if you didn't have an emergency fund and you got all excited about investing, you started putting all your money in your 401k? Well, when you have an emergency, not if, because you're going to.
Yeah.
When you have an emergency and you have no money, but you have money in your 401k, you know what you're going to do? Cash out your stupid 401k. and you're going to get your face smashed in with the dadgum rent. I mean, the penalties and the taxes on the thing. It's crazy what they're going to hit you with. Or worse yet, you're going to borrow on your 401k to cover an emergency because you didn't have an emergency fund in place before you start your 401k. Because baby step 3 is a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Baby step 4 is you start investing 15% of your household income into retirement. There's a reason 4 comes after 3. Because 3 is first. Hello. That's how that works. And you don't need to fix this. It's not broken. So, I need to invest. I'm gonna invest. Yeah, you're gonna be broke is what's gonna happen. Don't do this stuff out of order, guys. It works this way. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. #1 best-selling author many times over and co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour podcast, Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality. My daughter is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Nathan starts this hour off in South Dakota. Hi, Nathan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and Rachel. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Yeah, so I'm a 22-year-old farmer, and I recently, in an attempt to grow my operation, bought a piece of land. So between the land loan and an operating loan, I have about $500,000 in debt. So the land loan is $475,000, and it was just a couple months ago that I bought that. And it's just starting to set in now. I'm going to be paying this off for the next 30 years, and I guess I just wanted to get your input on what the best way to tackle that would be.
That scares me to death. Does it not scare you?
Yes, it is.
I mean, my chest is tight, and I don't owe the money.
Yeah.
Wow, man. You're not freaked out at all?
Well, I am. I mean, farmland is terribly expensive, and it's always, I've always been taught by my dad and other farmers that you just have to start somewhere and, start paying some land down. And
so your dad's suggestion is at 22 years old that you go $500,000 in debt. He endorsed this plan.
Yes, he did.
Wow. Okay. I'm not sure that we have any answers for you, to be honest with you, Nathan.
Well, are you going to be, I guess your plan is to farm the land and make an income off of that, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
What do you anticipate the income being?
Yeah.
Well, it varies a lot. The farm economy has gotten worse the past few months, and right now it's looking like the profit from the land won't quite make the payment. So about $25,000 is what I think the profit will be off this year. The payment each year is $40,000. But on the better years, it could make its own payment, possibly.
Yeah.
So you bought a business for $500,000 at 22 years old that loses money this year and on a good year breaks even.
Well, I have other land that I'm renting from.
I know, but did you not hear what I just said?
Yes, I did.
That's just dumb. Okay? That doesn't make any sense at all. But because you're a farmer, you think it's okay. It's not okay. That's not good math. That's not good business. Farming is a business. It should be a profitable business, and the way you engage in it must be profitable. You have to create a profit and loss statement, and you have to actually create revenue in excess of your expenses. And you put so much debt service on yourself, you can't breathe.
So Nathan, the extreme, decision here would be: could you sell it? Is there a possibility? Are there buyers? Is this?
Why would you want to work for 30 years for zero money? And all you do is clear a piece of ground when you're done.
Because he's 22 and he's a second-gen farmer,
I know,
third-gen.
but I'm just saying, the logic of this is that by your dad suggesting this is baffling, that you're going to work for zero profit for the next 30 years, and your net result is you clear a piece of ground. That's not logical. I mean, I love real estate. I love farming. I love farmers. But this it doesn't make sense. So something you guys have to back up from this a little bit and figure out a different approach to create a profitable business, or you need to get out of this before you get foreclosed on.
Right.
Because what's going to happen is if you borrow $30,000 to cover your losses this year, now you're 23 and you owe more on the ground than it's worth.
Yes, that's right.
And then the next year, we hope to break even.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean to you at all. I have a tremendous respect for how hard you work. I have tremendous respect for the fact that a small percentage of Americans feed all of the rest of us.
Yes.
And but that does not mean that. But this is not sustainable.
But we're not going to justify it for you, Nathan. I mean, you want to be able to sleep at night.
I want you to
set
win.
yourself up.
I want you. If you told me you're a brain surgeon and you were breaking even, I would tell you not to be a brain surgeon. If you told me you were in brain surgery, believe me, if I'm going to get operated on, I'd like a good brain surgeon around. If I want some food on my table, I'd like a good farmer like you out there working. Man, I appreciate who you are. And so I'm all about you winning at this. I want you to be profitable. If you told me you could make $1 million a year being a farmer, I'd be proud for you. I'd want you to do that.
Okay.
So this is not me hating on but this idea but I got to tell you, man, I've worked with farmers for a long time, 30 years, and a lot of them carry on and gripe about me because I tell them not to borrow $500,000 on a combine. But there's this romanticism with farming that says, oh, the math doesn't apply because I'm a farmer. Well, math does apply. It applies in every dadgum business.
And it's the same philosophy we use for any other business.
It applies if you're running a nonprofit church serving Jesus.
And it applies if you live in California and want to buy a house, right? It is just the math. It's the math.
It's what brings a blessing to your life, and that's our goal here. And I wish I had a magic wand. Mine's low on batteries that could make this deal work. I don't know how this deal works unless you could tell me you can make $100,000 a year profit, instead of losing money the first year and maybe the second year and maybe the third year and ending up owing $100,000 more within a couple of years on this property than it's worth. And that's not a plan. So
what would you say? Sell it?
That or rework the business model. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what his crop rotation is. I don't know what his particular crop choice is. I don't know, what he's looking at. Why you're going into a business that at 22 that you're planning to lose money.
Well, it could be the crop. I mean, it could be the weather. The crop. I mean, that's the hard thing about agriculture.
The farm economy, depending on which segment we're talking about, is struggling.
Yeah.
I don't argue that point either. But you can't just, you can't open a restaurant and lose money.
Yeah.
The first year and the second year and owe so much that you can't pay your payments. That's why it doesn't work in any business. And I wish I could make this better for you. But you've got to either rework your business approach to this, or you need to look at getting this sold before you get yourself bankrupted by your dad's horrible advice. This is The Ramsey Show. We've been doing business at Ramsey for more than 30 years. By now, we're a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't always that way. Yes, we've always had a vision, always had determination, and a drive to help people. But what we didn't have was one central place to access all our numbers so that we could get further ahead or quickly see when we needed to pivot. We were always jumping back and forth between different systems and spreadsheets. So when NetSuite by Oracle helped us wrangle our revenue, inventory, expenses, and more into one place, it was a game changer. And NetSuite's #1 cloud financial system can help your business gain the same visibility, because businesses thrive on timely data. And NetSuite's real-time analytics can help your business have immediate access to your numbers daily, so you always know where you stand and you can move quickly. So go to netsuite.com/Ramsey today and set up a free product tour. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Hey, let's clear something up. If you listen to this show for 10 seconds, you'll know we hate debt. And some people, for some reason, don't get that. They think you need debt, you need credit cards to build your credit. Well, we think you need a good credit, and because they think you need a good credit score to buy a house. Well, you don't. The truth is, living a debt-free lifestyle, eventually you won't have any credit score. If you don't have any open accounts and you don't use credit at all, eventually your credit score will disappear. And when you're ready to buy a house, you got to find a good lender like Churchill Mortgage who can do what's called manual underwriting. Like George Camel, when he and Whitney bought their first home, which is now paid off, they got it through Churchill Mortgage at a 0 credit score. And they got the same interest rate as a premium credit score would get. You are not penalized if you have a mortgage company like Churchill that knows what they're doing. Might sound crazy, but the best plan for your future is to avoid debt, get a big down payment, get a great real estate agent who will help you find a house you can actually afford. We recommend our endorsed local provider agents. They are Ramsey trusted. That means they're a top performer in your market. They are high octane, high protein. If you're going to sell a house, get with somebody who sells a bunch of houses, not somebody who got their license last week who happens to be your friend from college. That's dumb. Don't do that. This is your house. Okay? Get somebody that actually knows what they're doing, that has a proven track record in the area. Go to RamseySolutions.com/agent. You can find these Ramsey trusted agents.
Do you remember, well, it's probably 2 years ago now that people were starting to talk about the bubble, the housing bubble. It's gonna burst. It's gonna be another 07, like the freak out. And then we did the big, the real estate reality check, calm everyone down.
The big live stream.
And so, the market, we've said it's cooled down. It's not as insane as it was
Thank
God. Yep. So we're stabilizing. And so on Instagram, I know you love Instagram Reels. A guy had a whole thing about how the #1 market that's going to burst very soon is Nashville. And how Nashville, it's going to, all this stuff. And then I went and read through the comments and they were like, are you insane? Like, have you been to Nashville and seen the, because it's still crazy in Nashville, right? I mean, like, there are still fewer houses, more people.
The guy's still saying that?
Yes, there's a guy and I just saw it the other week and I was like, oh no, not Nashville, because we experience it here and it's like people are still flocking and still moving here. But
we can't get you to not come.
I know. So for you and your perspective with real estate specifically, like what trends are you seeing out there? Because I mean, I kind of just I see Nashville and know Nashville, but overall, the landscape, the bubble has not burst. We are still okay, but it has softened, right? Some. I mean, it's not as urgent and freaked out as it was, but overall, what are you seeing?
I think I think we can just stop and say I told you so, can't we? I mean, because we did. Like, 18 months ago, when everybody was frantic because the market had slowed down and interest rates were coming up. We did a 2-hour long live stream. I would imagine you could still watch it and go back and watch it. And I think you'll see in that we predicted exactly what has happened. Now, we don't always get it right, but we were using data, not emotions, to actually figure out what's going on. And the data was this. Even though the interest rates have gone up, there still is a dramatic inventory shortage in real estate in almost every city. In order for prices of anything to come down, supply-demand curves have to shift, meaning that the supply has to be much higher than the demand. But when there is the opposite, a shortage versus a glut in the market, when there's a shortage, prices go up. So if you want to cause the prices on something to go up, make it scarce. Make it be a shortage. There is not a shortage of real estate. There is a shortage of real estate. Yeah. And so the opposite of prices tanking, everybody's, it's all going to go away. It's all going to be another 2000. And we kept saying, no, it's not. It's not going to bust. It's not going to bust. We said it is going to slow down.
Yeah.
And we said, if you're going to sell a house, you're going to have to actually clean it up and stage it, which is, and you can expect
average
to put
days
it on
the market again.
You can put it on the market. You expect 90 to 120 days, and you can expect not to get 110% of your asking price with 87 offers on one weekend. That was an anomaly. That was a short period of time after COVID when everybody sat around in their house, got fat, and decided they wanted to move out of their house. And so
no one was building anything because materials are so expensive.
There was a shortage of lumber. Lumber went up 3x. It's back down. And builders are not building specs right now.
Yeah.
They slowed down, and they're adding to this shortage because it's slowed down, and they don't want to get stuck with a spec house. And so spec house starts are way off, which is hurting the inventory even more. You can't find a house in a lot of markets, so you have not seen prices crash. You've seen them steadily increase. We said in the year 2023 you were going to see a 2 to 7% increase in prices nationwide, and that is about what we're going to see.
And that's what your home is actually valued, not the inflated price that people are throwing out there. Yeah.
Right.
Because people could put an extra $500,000, something insane on, and people would just buy it.
This is not asking price. This is actual value.
That's right.
Actual value. And it's not people buying like they've lost their dadgum minds. This is reasonable people buying properties at reasonable prices. You're going to see that number. You put a house on the market for $300,000, expect to get an offer, of $280,000, and that you're going to negotiate.
Yeah.
And expect to sit there for 90 to 120 days to sell the house, and expect that if your house is ugly and dirty, it's not going to sell. So that's not unusual. That's like 90% of the years that we've had real estate operating in America. It's been that way. We had a short period of time when it was cray-cray, and we covered all of that in detail, and then it has happened exactly the way we said.
Yeah.
So no, whatever characters on whatever Instagram economists, that's like
it was funny though.
It's like an oxymoron.
Well, I'll be honest, not that I fall for everything I see on the internet, even though that sometimes is the case.
Not everything, but most of it.
I had a moment where I was like, oh gosh, what does he see that I'm not seeing? I don't know. And then, I'm watching it again. I'm like, that just doesn't feel right. And the funniest part is just going to the comments because
people just ripping the guy.
Everyone's like, I'm a real estate agent in Nashville. Are you kidding me?
Like smoking something?
Yeah. So anyways, it was good. But that's what you're saying. That's just good to know. I think that it's good to kind of just get a pulse on. And then interest rates obviously
they're up.
They're up. And do you ever see them coming back down to that 2-3%?
I don't know. I don't know what interest rates are going to do. I will tell you this. You can have a healthy, sustained residential real estate market for home buyers, and 6% will just rock it for days. I mean, we've rocked it for decades at 6%. The only reason it was driven down below 6% was artificially by the government driving it down to re-stimulate the real estate market after 2008. But prior to 2008, for 15 years, it sat around 6.
Yeah.
When I came on the air in 1992 doing this show, the rates were like 9. And we were selling lots of people were selling houses everywhere. Nobody thought anything about it.
Yeah.
And then they came down to 6, and we thought, oh, this is awesome. This is great. Because 6 is great when you're comparing it to 9. 6 is not great when you're comparing it to 2.5.
Yep.
You know, and so it's all your point of reference. The secret to happiness is low expectations, right? So, oh my gosh! But yeah, you're right. We should have stopped and said, "I told you so," because we did tell you.
No, that's not what I was asking.
No,
you will take this moment.
We really should do that every so often because we get so much stupid hate mail by people on these social media channels and everything else that we don't know what we're talking about, and we completely nailed that.
Yeah.
I mean, our team here and the Ramsey personalities looked at the data and we said, this is what's going to happen, and we hammered it. We nailed it. And it certainly wasn't the crash of the real estate market that a lot of you were believing and predicting was going to occur 18 months ago. Just think back to 18 months ago. And that's about when we did that live stream. So go look it up. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Carrie is with us in Montgomery, Alabama. Hi, Carrie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Sure. What's up?
So I recently got a divorce. Well, I left him last summer. It was like a domestic violence situation that I had to get out, and I was in nursing school full time. And so I got out, and I got back on my feet like a lot quicker than I thought I would.
Good for you.
So
a lot quicker than he told you would.
Oh yeah, he said I would be nothing, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and you're gonna be the rock star that we all know you to be. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and but anyways, he kind of controlled the finances. So I did I had a credit card left, but I hadn't been using it. I kind of used it to get a lawyer and to kind of get back on my feet. And so I have about $6,000 left. I had like 16, but I've been paying it off. And then I got a job. I work in like medical sales now, and my base pay is like 60, and with commission I make on top of that about 5 to 7 every month. It kind of varies. My worst month was like 3,000, but it was when I was getting started. But I did buy a house in November, unfortunately, when interest rates were 7.25. It's an FHA loan. I have $26,000 auto loan but it's 3% interest rate. I got a really good interest rate on that. And then I have about $18,000 in student loans. So I'm just wondering like what I should pay off first. And then we just closed on our house. We flipped houses together, and we had to split the last profit. So I have $25,000 from that I just put in the money market. I got it like a week ago.
That'll jumpstart your plan. Yeah, good.
Mm-hmm. It's like a 4.5 APY, so it's a really good money market to SoFi there. So I'm trying to decide, like, should I keep it there? What should I pay off first? I really want to get a better home interest rate, but I'm just not sure when I'll be able to do that,
Yeah. Well, Carrie, you're doing an incredible job. I mean, you absolutely have taken hold of your life. I mean, you're doing incredible work-wise. You're making great money, and yeah, you're just in an incredible spot, which I'm really happy for you. And I mean, that's a courageous. The whole event is a courageous thing that you just stepped out of, and you said, I'm taking life back in my own hands. So I'm just I'm impressed by you in that way. Do you have any other money saved besides this $25,000 that's in a money market account?
Not really. Like, I have my banking account set up for, like 20%. I just stuck it up to 40% of, like, when I get paid, it just automatically goes to my savings, my money market. So I was saving like 20% each paycheck. So I have about $2,000 in savings on top of that. So maybe $27,000.
Okay.
Total.
That's great. Okay. Yeah. So what I would do is I would take this $25,000 and we teach you to pay off the smallest debt first. So with that $25,000 plus you have $2,000 in your other savings, which I would take that down. I would drain it down to $1,000. So you really have $26,000 that can be thrown at this debt, which means you can pay off this credit card, and then you'll be paying off, this auto loan. So you only have $6,000 left on your car.
No.
By the end of today.
No. You got $26,018 and $26 on the car, right?
Yeah, she has $6,000 in credit card debt.
No.
Yes, $4,000 of that is like a 24-month interest-free credit card.
You got an $18,000 student loan?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh, the student loan.
Yeah, that's right. So you got $18,000 student loan, and then you got how much on your credit cards?
$6,000, but $4,000 of that is like interest-free.
I don't care.
So.
We're not going to play interest-free games, and interest rates don't matter. You are in debt. We need to clean up the debt, okay? When you get the debt cleaned up, you're going to have no payments anywhere in your life, and you're making money. You're going to put this whole horrible mess in your rearview mirror, and it's just going to be smoke back there. It's going to be awesome. I love it. Okay, so I would write a check today and pay off your credit cards, and I would close every one of those credit card accounts and use only a debit card for your transactions. Then I would pay off the student loan today.
Okay.
And then you've only got the car left at $26,000, right?
Yes.
Okay, and
$2,000.
Like, people keep talking about the student loan forgiveness. Do you think that's ever going to happen, or
no?
Okay.
And you know what? Even if it does, you borrowed the money, you owe it.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you make good money now. You're going to be making $100,000 this year, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So pay off your $26,000 student loan.
Okay.
Who cares?
Yeah, and the house I bought is a fixer-upper, so should I just wait on fixing up the house?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Let's get the debts cleaned up. Because when you don't have any payments but the house payment and you're making $100,000 a year, do you feel that freedom already when I just said that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You got no payments but a house payment? You can fix that house up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. And no more debt. No more debt. You don't need any banks telling you what to do. You got rid of a jerk that used to tell you what to do. We don't need anybody else telling you what to do. You are amazing. Go get it done, girl.
Yeah. And when should I refinance my house since I just bought it?
When you're able to get a lower interest rate.
All right.
As soon as you call Churchill Mortgage and find out what you've got to do. Is your credit damaged by this mess? Is that the problem?
I paid off a lot of it, so it shot back up. It was like a 650, but now it's back up above a 700. So
when did you do that? But before or after you got this 7.25?
I did that a couple of weeks ago when I got like $32,000, and I paid most of it off with that. Does that make sense? And then I was making chunks. I was doing like $1,000 payments on the credit card.
Yeah, go ahead and get rid of this debt. All this debt, and when you get rid of all this debt, you're going to see that card, that score jump up again. And right when it does that, if you can get down around a 6%, that'll give you a 1.25 savings. That'll make it worth refinancing. And call Churchill Mortgage and get that. If you can get it down to 6% or lower, it's going to be worth refinancing.
Mm-hmm. And should I do a 15-year or 30-year?
Always a 15-year. And, hey, listen, you're asking a bazillion different questions about all of the different things because now you're in control of your life again. And we want to help you with this recovery, this bounce back that you're doing, and give you the confidence on the money piece to do everything. I want you to go through Financial Peace University because we want to be a little part of your amazing story. And so you hang on. We're going to have Austin pick up. We're going to pay for you to go through this class. It's online. You can do it. And when you get all these answers, these questions are all swimming around your head, and you're going to go through this class and go, oh, now I know exactly what to do. Your confidence is even going to soar more, and you're probably going to make more than 100. Then you probably make 125.
And with that, Carrie, you're going to get every dollar plus as well. And so honestly, too, the amount of control you're going to feel of just budgeting when that paycheck hits, knowing exactly where it's going, and once this debt's paid off, because even at the end of today, I'm like, you could have just your car loan left at $24,000 and not get out. So you can actually start to see your goals and where your money's going and being really intentional with it. And there's something empowering too about that. And again, especially from what you've walked through the last year and a half, to be able to have full control over that income where your money doesn't even have you, like you truly have it. You are the one controlling it. There is something in that too. And just that simple budgeting app, I'm telling you, that's going to give you so much freedom and so much confidence. So we're excited for you, Carrie.
By the way, for those of you out there that think you have a friend or a relative that is a victim of domestic violence, married to a jerk who thinks his wife's a punching bag, let me tell you a real symptom. The data shows this, and we know this from 30 years of working in these situations. If the guy is 1,000% in control of the money and will not let his wife make a single decision of any kind with the money, there's a high correlation between that behavior and domestic violence. Because if he can control the money, he thinks he can control her, and this whole domestic violence thing is about control. And so if you see a guy who's doing that to his wife, he's probably beating her. That's what I'm saying. Not 100%, but there's a high correlation to that. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here. Hey, if you're liking the show, thank you. And we know that a bunch of you are spreading the word on this show because our rankings and our ratings continue to go up. And that means there's a whole bunch of new folk out there. Thank you. Thank you for joining us and help us spread the word. There's a couple things you can do to push the needle on this whole process. If you're a YouTube viewer or listener, obviously you can subscribe and you can share. Hit the share button. And same thing with your podcast. You can subscribe. You can share over on Spotify or Apple or Google Play, wherever you are. We're everywhere, by the way. We're on every stinking platform that is imaginable. Sirius XM. Yeah, 680 talk radio stations. Yep. Number 2 talk radio show in America in terms of number of stations and number of listeners. Undisputed. Not even close on the second. Sean Hannity's number 1, and we are honored to be in a number 2 slot. So, hey, thank you guys for that. Tell people about the show. Maybe you're watching on TBN. Tell people you're about the show. Share them. Share, subscribe, follow. And if the format allows you to, leave us a 5-star review. If you want to leave a 1-star review, just change the channel.
Okay, people get mad when you say this because they go and do 1 stars and they're like, because Dave told me not to do this, I'm going to do it. So
really?
Yes. People are like, Dave said, so you people, I can rate you however I want, Dave.
What are you, stupid?
No, stop. You're going to make them do 1 star.
I don't care.
Just don't mention the 1 stars. Just say, here, I'll do it. Listen. I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show you.
All right, show me how to do it.
So if you guys love the show, if you find that it's really helpful and encouraging, make sure to leave us a review. We really enjoy it. We love reading them and hearing.
I don't.
Oh my gosh. Lord have mercy. I tried, James. I really did. I tried. You need to go read your reviews because it is helpful for people.
I'm not taking a poll. We're doing the show. If you guys love it, thank you. We appreciate you loving it.
And we'd like to read that you do, and it helps the algorithm. There's a lot of reasons to leave a review. It does help the algorithm when you leave a 5-star. It doesn't when you leave a 1-star. What are you trying to destroy the show? Go over to Smart Money Happy Hour, because we read your reviews there for sure.
Yeah.
George and I love them. They're inside jokes. So do an inside joke of a review right now, Dave. Like everyone leave the emoji or something, and then you go through and read, and you're like, oh, look, there they all are.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun. Interact with the people, Dave. Come on.
I do.
Dad.
I do a talk radio show for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's interacting with the people right there. That's when I do that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Just leave a review. It does help.
I read them every day. So
James reads them, and I
James reads them for me. That's what it is.
I used to not.
I knew. See,
But you should.
The way I care is I have James.
To tell you, James, you need to tell him to stop saying not to leave 1-stars.
I knew that if I told him, he would double down, and that's what he's doing.
I know. Our cause is not working.
It's not working at all. Andrew's in Orlando. Hey, Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing good. I think I'm with Rachel on this one. I think you might have activated the internet trolls.
I know, right, Andrew? Tell him to stop.
Oh.
Such a boomer.
Way to go, man. Way to go. Thanks, Andrew. You're no help at all. Next caller.
No! We're here for you, Andrew. We're here for you.
How can we help you, brother?
So my wife and I just bought a house in Orlando, Florida. We're moving down from Louisville, Kentucky. And we're having a bunch of home repairs pop up, and we plan for these some repairs to pop up, but kind of the number is getting ahead of what we budgeted, and kind of want to get your take on how we can handle it.
Like what? So
we knew that it needed a new roof. It probably needed new plumbing. So we had like $25,000 set aside for that. We're toward the end of that, and now we still have our 6-month emergency fund. So right now there's a hole in our kitchen floor down to the crawl space. A couple joists are bad. And that's sort of where we're sitting right now.
What happened to the hole? How was there a hole?
Notice there was a hole in your floor?
No. So on our last trip, we started ripping up the floor. So we knew something was bad in there. So I started ripping it up, and then the subfloor was rotted, so we ripped that up, and then joists below it were bad too. So.
This is a fine piece of property, isn't it? Needed plumbing, a roof, and the floor is rotten.
Did y'all do like an inspection?
No, he bought it.
Yeah, we got an inspection.
Really?
We negotiated the price down from $20,000.
But it cost you $25,000 to get to the point that you just have a hole in the floor.
Right, but we got it below what it's worth.
Not if you only negotiated it down $20,000 and the repairs were $40,000.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So okay.
But here we are.
So how you gonna fix the floor?
We're planning on doing the floors ourselves.
Mm-hmm. What's it gonna cost?
We're probably thinking a couple grand for that.
Okay.
But then after that, we'll have countertops, cabinets to put back up. So our plan was just to get the floors down and then cash flow until probably Christmas, to where we can get the money together to get all the kitchen done.
How do you operate your household without a kitchen?
Toaster oven and a mini fridge.
Mm. Your wife is a champ.
Yeah, I know she is.
Man, you got a deal, and you got her camping. Wow. Oh man. I don't know what else to do though. You're here. Yeah, you got this far in.
How much you guys make a year, Andrew?
$160. We're expected to make $160 this year.
Okay. So yeah, that's great income.
So you can cash flow it pretty quick with that great income. That's the good news in the story. Okay. Yeah. Let's get the floor done and get moved in. And
what's causing y'all move from Kentucky to Orlando?
We got jobs out here. We're opening up a engineering office down here, so we're part of the initial crew.
Okay. For work.
Okay. Good. Well, yeah, I think you got your plan. I mean, you got to cash flow it, and I don't want you down to, not having a kitchen is pretty close to an emergency, but I don't know. You could just decide if that's an emergency or not.
You could take some money out of that, yeah.
He already is to fix the floor.
So would you recommend just going down to 3 months for now, or just getting further than that?
Yeah, you could.
Kitchen done.
Yeah, I want to get this kitchen done and just have a habitable property. I mean, toaster oven is quasi-habitable, right?
Right.
Yeah. When you're at the toaster oven level, that's a pretty different level.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
toaster ovens are great.
Yeah, I know,
Instapot,
but that's the only thing there. The sink doesn't work. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, so just wow. And, and then the rest of it, any other improvements you're going to do, you have to get your emergency fund in place and then cash flow above that once you get the kitchen thing in the rearview mirror.
How old are you guys, Andrew?
I'm 26 and my wife's 22.
How long have y'all been married?
About 2 years now.
Any kids?
Okay. No kids.
Okay. Y'all got this.
I'll give you a warning, okay? You probably have made all of the withdrawals on home repairs in your marriage that you'll be able to do. I doubt she's going to do this one with you again. You probably got your one play here for the rest of your life.
I played my cards well.
Yeah, I think you've completely made all the withdrawals on that part of the bank that you can. I'm guessing that this young lady is going to say, not again.
Or she may love it. She may love the adventure. I don't know.
She might.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing. This is the kind of stuff your mom would have gone along with me when she was 22, but the chances of her doing it when she's 62, really close to me leaving before this happens, okay? So, not a chance.
But good for y'all, Andrew. You know what? It's a fixer-upper, and they're doing it themselves.
Adventure. It's the toaster oven adventure.
I think it's great.
Tell your grandkids, back in the day.
Wasn't that a movie?
A toaster oven?
The toaster? What was that? The little blue, the toaster. It was like an old Disney cartoon.
Oh, I have no idea.
The Brave Little Toaster.
The Brave Little Toaster. There you go. Andrew.
It must have it's gone because it must have gotten all one-star reviews.
That's to you.
There it is. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour podcast on the Ramsey Networks, and my daughter is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Esther is with us in Dallas. Hi, Esther. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I'm calling because my husband and I have a few questions, and we don't know which way to head. We started Financial Peace University at the beginning of last year, and everything was going great. Then we paid about $50,000 in debt so far.
Way to go!
Thank you. Because of some of the things that were happening with our school district and whatnot, I was a teacher. I decided to quit my job and homeschool my kiddos starting last summer, and obviously, that put a little bit of a dent in our debt snowball. However, my husband had received an increase, which was making up for my loss of pay. And everything kind of went okay. We were able to make ends meet. Well, recently, my husband's company, they cut pay from everybody in their company. And that's going to be about a 20% loss of income for us going into next month. So it's putting us in a difficult position. It would make things a little hard.
What did your husband used to make?
He was making, his take-home pay was right under $100,000.
They gave him a $20,000 pay cut.
20%.
That's 20% of 100 is 20,000.
Right. Yes.
And what does he do?
He does drafting, architectural type drafting.
Okay. Well, the economy in Dallas is booming. Mm-hmm. Why is this architectural firm cutting pay for people?
That's our question as well. It's not.
They didn't say why?
No. And it might be temporarily. Again, it's not a Texas-based company, so we don't know if that has something to do with it.
Look for a job.
Yeah.
Why are you staying in a place cut your pay 20% in a booming economy?
That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, like today.
However,
today.
Yeah.
This is not a theory. I mean, that's he just got disrespected.
Yes.
They were waving a flag in front of him to leave.
Mm-hmm. And it's everybody in the company.
I know.
It's not just him, but it's not.
They fully anticipate several people leaving as a result of this, cutting their payroll costs down. This is anticipated. Mm-hmm. This is a strategic move on their part. Mm-hmm. They're telegraphing this to you, saying, leave, and I would oblige.
Yeah.
Go get a job making 120 if I'm him.
We agree.
And I bet he can do it by Friday if you get on it.
Yes, I think he can.
Okay.
Yes, so we have those on our to-do list for it this week. However, my question to you was, before we started FPU, we did everything stupid that we could do with our money. We were comfortable, and we had the lifestyle supposedly to match it, which was just in our minds, not reality. However, since we started our debt snowball, like I said, things were rolling along. However, right now, we are getting a little bit frustrated that we are kind of like stuck on the same place for a long time.
Well, you quit your job and your husband got a 20% pay cut. Of course things are tight.
Yes, they are. And my question to you was, should we even consider selling our house to...
No, you need to get your incomes back up.
Mm-hmm.
What's your house payment?
About $2,400 a month. It's very good compared to what's going on right now.
Yeah. So you may be tutoring and subbing while he gets his income up to 120.
Mm-hmm.
And then the house is not a problem anymore. The house only became a problem when your incomes went away.
Yeah.
Am I right?
The house is not even our biggest issue. It's paying everything else down.
Well, you've already gotten rid of $50,000 worth of debt back when both of you had your incomes.
Yes.
So you can sub, right?
How much do you have left, Esther, in debt?
A lot.
How much?
80?
About 200. No, about 200K.
On what?
Student loans. We have a personal loan. We had a HELOC, a car loan. Yeah.
Okay. How much is student loans?
Mine is about 30,000, and my husband is about 20,000, right under 20.
Okay, so 50 in student loans, and so how big is the HELOC?
About 80.
Okay, and that is in addition to your $2,400 payment?
Yes.
Okay, you may have a house you can't afford then, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you put those payments all together on your home, you've now got house payments that are really getting very high, even with your old incomes.
Yeah. It's about $2,800, which is still less than what we would be paying in this market in Texas, but
yeah. What do you, well, no, that's not true. I mean, it's less than you pay for that house in Texas, but there are cheaper houses in Dallas.
Right.
So how much do you owe on your cars?
Between the two of them, we're at 41.
Okay, give me a breakdown on that. Which cars, how much?
My car is about 31,600, and my husband, it would be the difference. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me right now.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So here, the way I look at all this stuff is what I would do if I woke up in your shoes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, the 20% pay cut activates me looking for a job immediately, and it activates you doing something for income. You've got a teaching certificate. You can sub. You can do some while you homeschool. You can still pull
when
this
it's
off.
summer right now, technically. So
And do
whether
a
it's
bunch
tutoring.
of tutoring, absolutely. Great money tutoring. Really great money tutoring. And I'd pick up a bunch of that and get his income back up, get yours up temporarily. I'd sell the $31,000 car in about 20 seconds. I wouldn't keep it. But before I sold my house, I would be cleaning off a whole bunch of this other stuff. And I would be willing to lean into this because selling a house is expensive. It's expensive to move. It's expensive emotionally. It's expensive everything. And if you can, if the house can be solved, if you can work your way through this and get rid of these debts and get your incomes up temporarily for a period of time to plow on through this, then you're there. But if you decide to quit your job, you may have decided to sell your house. You for sure decided to sell your car. You maybe didn't mean to, but those decisions all came together because of the math. They were knitted together. You couldn't get rid of them. They're tied to each other. So that's the deal. I'd sell your car and I'd get better jobs immediately. And really, by Friday, you can do that. And all of a sudden, the situation starts to move around. Give yourself a little breathing room, and then you can decide later on the house. This is The Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Our question of the day comes from Neighborly. Yeah, the Ramsey Show question of the day sponsored by Neighborly, your hub for home services. Take your home's efficiency and style to the next level with convenient solutions from Shelf Genie, Window Genie, Glass Doctor, and Dryer Vent Wizard. Visit neighborly.com to schedule home service professionals near you.
All right, today's question comes from Michael in Illinois. My question is about continuing to pay for our 19-year-old son's insurance deductible. He lives at home and pays $400 rent each month. He is not in school. He works full-time and plays video games. His hourly wage is $25 an hour. He's on our health insurance plan, which doesn't cost any extra. My wife thinks we should pay his deductible. I feel like it's time that he takes on the responsibility of being an adult. How should I handle the situation?
His wife thinks we should pay the deductible. He said,
yeah.
So.
Well, he works full time. I just think that's funny. And he plays video games.
Why is that funny?
I don't know, because I'm like, it would be...
Sounds like a teenager.
Well, you could be like, well, he works full time and watches Netflix at night. I don't know. Like, it's just like a thing you do. I don't know why video games is like the thing that he tells us about.
Because it pisses his father off.
I think so. Maybe that's what it is.
That's exactly why.
He plays Netflix. He looks at his phone.
He mentions
it
because he's useless, yeah.
No, but he works.
No, I know. His dad just doesn't like it.
I know. I mean, I don't know, Michael. I mean, he's paying rent. I think he should move out.
Yeah.
But I mean, what it was with the whole Obamacare situation that it bumped up to 25, right? That you can be on your parents' health insurance. Yep. Okay, you could disagree with me on this. That doesn't bother me. A part of me is like, yeah, if you until he moves out, he's on his own. He goes and gets a job that has benefits. Maybe that's what he needs to be doing. But if he's 19, I mean, he may have just graduated high school and he's figuring it out. I don't know.
I don't think the deductible is
the issue.
Your problem, Michael.
Yeah.
I think your problem, Michael, is you think this kid needs to move on.
Yes.
And instead of saying that, you want him to pay the deductible.
Right.
So the deductible's the symptom. The question is the symptom of the whole situation. So here's what I think will solve your angst, Michael, on the video games and the deductible both, okay, is if you put a schedule on when he's leaving. And so I would sit down with him and say, I'm your dad, I love you, and I'm here to help you, and I'm not here to support you for the rest of your life. And so you're doing a good job earning some money. I don't really need a renter, so I don't need your rent money. What is best for you as my son is for you to stand on your own 2 feet and have the dignity of operating your own household. And I want us to work up a plan that moves you towards that. So this indefinite sitting here playing video games while you could be out doing some extra work to get on with your life, or taking a class of some kind, trade school, certificate, whatever it is, instead of getting a degree in Mario Kart, or something. So, it's
about being productive.
This is me as your dad, loving you well, saying we're going to develop a plan for you to be on your own. And if you want to live on $25 an hour and work only 40 hours and not engage your brain and grow your mind and grow yourself, be in a self-growth mode, you're going to struggle, my son. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about what you're engaging in. And so when is it that you're planning to exit? When do you think is a good plan to exit? And it doesn't have to be in 2 weeks. It doesn't even have to be in 2 months.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 6 months. But if you say a date certain, okay, that, after Christmas, you're going to have found a place and be in it, or whatever the number is that we all come up with, and then I'll help you get there. I'll help you with your budget. I'll show you how you can get extra work doing other stuff, and if you want to consider what your career field is going to be.
And for the time being, if he does this job and then a side hustle at night and he doesn't have benefits, would you be mad if he stays on his parents' insurance?
No.
Yeah.
I don't care if he stays on the insurance. The insurance is not the problem.
Yep.
The problem is this sense that he's
lazy, or that he could be doing something.
He's a quasi-child in a young man's body.
Yeah.
That's what's bothering his dad.
Yeah.
And his dad just didn't know how to say it. But it's not good for the young man.
Right.
It's
Totally.
good for him to have a plan. And I'll just tell you, moms and dads, if your 19-year-old doesn't want to go to college, I understand that, and I'm okay with that. But no post-high school learning is a plan to really struggle through your whole life. So everyone should study something. I read 3 nonfiction books in the past 30 days, and I'm 62. So, really, everyone should study something all the time. And if I can do it, he can do it. You should always be learning something, knowing something, doing something you didn't know before so that you have a better life.
Yeah.
And I don't care if he wants to become a welder, if he wants to become a diesel mechanic. I don't care if he wants to be go to code school.
But have a path. Have something you're working towards.
Do something you're learning and doing beyond. I'm going to make, basically the minimal entry rates and try to survive on that. It's going to be tough. It's going to have a tough life. So I want to help him with that. I want to help him extend his career direction, and I want to help him get on his own. Because when he feels the pressure of actually doing his own thing out there in the real world, it'll change his emotional maturity. And
I heard something the other day that in France, one of the parenting philosophies that they have, apparently, I don't know if this is true, but I thought it was good, is frustration. They want their kids to feel frustrated. So there's not kids menus when you go over to France. They really do make the child adapt into adult, because they're like, and you're going to feel frustrated about that, but you need to, because when you feel frustrated, you're uncomfortable, you have to make decisions, you have to understand problem solve, right? Where in America, we're more just like, we want to make you comfortable, and we don't, if you feel frustrated, we'll fix it for you, right? It's that helicopter type parenting.
Yeah, we want to create an environment where you have no stress.
Yeah, so even at 19, it's like, have a little frustration in there and have to kind of figure it out.
Have a little stress in there, yeah. And again, this is not an act of being mean or something like that, or being angry. But I can tell you this, Michael, as a dad, all right, of grown people, the frustration you have is not with video games. You would not mind him playing video games at all if he was studying and working towards a goal in his career, if he was standing on his own, and he was making more money, and he was working overtime, and he was paying his own bills.
That's what made me laugh. Like the video.
That's where the frustrate.
Comes out there.
Yeah, the video games is you're not frustrated with video games. You're frustrated with all these other things,
right.
And because he could be doing those things while he's doing the video game. So that's what's bothering you.
Yeah.
And it's also an indication of emotional immaturity at this stage of the game. So that comes up in this discussion.
Yes.
Not everybody plays video games is emotionally immature. That's not what I'm saying. But that comes up in this discussion as an indication he's afraid his son is not maturing.
Yes.
And that he's still thinking like a 16-year-old.
Right.
And that doesn't work when you're 19, and it sure as crud doesn't work when you're 29. So that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
This failure to launch thing, it's very real.
Yep.
It's very real. And moms and dads, the numbers are astronomical. The number of millennials and the number of Gen Zs that moms and dads are paying their bills is crazy. The average is $1,425 a month that you guys are paying for your, and I love this phrase, your grown kids. What is a grown kid? I don't understand what that is. But yeah, it's an oxymoron, I think. But yeah, for your children who have grown up, but they didn't. And so you're paying their bills. You're paying for their house payment. You're paying for this. You're paying for that. You are not helping them. You are not helping them. You are not giving them the dignity, the freedom of agency. Their feedback loops are not closing. You're not creating emotionally mature people. Wow. And the devastating effects on this nation are amazing that go with that. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. This is The Ramsey Show. We go all out for our listeners. We're going to give away some money. The giveaway's ending soon. No, hurry and enter for your chance to win the big one, the $3,000 grand prize with the Ramsey cash giveaway. Go to RamseySolutions.com/giveaway. You can increase your chances of winning by entering daily. No purchase necessary. Got to be 18 or older to win. RamseySolutions.com/giveaway. Just a couple of days left on this if you want to get in. Our books are all on sale for $10 each. All of our number one bestsellers, all of Rachel's number one bestsellers, all of my number one bestsellers, Deloney's, Coleman's, they're all on sale, $10 each. And I got to tell you, with inflation, our costs on these books have gone up dramatically, what it costs us to produce a book. And I'm not completely 100% sure this is the last $10 sale, but it might very well be, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to go up on those prices. I don't think we're going to do any more $10 sales because the stinking cost has just gone through the roof on these things. So if you want these books at $10, this is the time to get it done as fast as you possibly can. Go to RamseySolutions.com. You want to load up on books at $10, might be advisable. Gabriel is with us in Washington, D.C. Hey, Gabriel, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
It's Gabrielle. I messed up. I'm sorry. How can I help?
Hi. So I recently just got a job making $100,000, and I'm trying to make a plan to go back to my PhD program after working and saving for a little bit of time. My programs are fully funded, but you only get about $28,000 a year. So, and I don't have any other debt right now. So I was just wondering how long would you work for, and how much would you try to save up in order to accommodate that kind of like salary reduction in the future?
I'm confused. You're going to go get a PhD. You make over $100,000 a year. You're going to go get a PhD. And what do you mean by fully funded?
In the sciences, you get paid a salary to go do research.
So you'd work for the school while you're getting your PhD?
Exactly.
Oh,
so
you would quit this job.
You would quit this job and go work.
Yeah.
And you would make how much while you're working for the school?
$33,000.
So you would take a $75,000 pay cut.
Yes, but it's because I want to do this kind of research, and in order to get further in my career, this is kind of the next step after I work for a couple of years.
And how long does that take?
It'll take 4 years.
Okay, so this is a $250,000 expense.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to lose $75,000 a year for 4 years.
Yes.
And
I'm sorry, it's a $300,000 expense.
And the end goal, though, Gabrielle, is that you'll have your PhD. Is this and you want to? What will you be doing after this 4 years?
Government research, working in labs, and going towards managerial roles in labs.
Making what kind of money doing that?
You can make up to $200,000 in my field specifically, doing those kinds of things.
Okay. And so you're willing to invest $300,000 of lost income into this process?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you have a family? Are you married? Kids?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. So what expense do you have? Can you live on the 33 while you're doing it?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you need to save for then? They're going to pay for the PhD, right?
They will, but I want to make sure that I have a good nest since I'm pretty young, and I don't want to lose these kind of best years to invest my money for retirement. And because during that time, it's a little bit harder to make a big change to your retirement account while you're only bringing in that much money.
Oh yeah, you won't have any money. Yeah, you'll be barely making it.
But
you're going back to college. Yeah, for 4 years. You're going to college. So during college, you're not going to be doing a bunch of big investing.
How old are you?
23.
Good for you. Well, you're very smart. So I think this is the time to do it. I'm like, if this is the track you want, you obviously know what you want. Yeah, I mean, I would. When are you thinking realistically that you're going to go? Next August, like a year from now?
Yeah, within the next 1 to 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's great.
I would practice living on $33,000 and banking the rest of it while you wait.
That sounds good.
And I would go sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you can get into a program.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and because you want this behind you as soon as possible, so that the $200,000 income is in front of you as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be too worried about the investing side, Gabrielle. I mean, obviously compound interest is awesome, but you're so young that I'm like, and you're going to be making great money when you come out of this program. So even if you started investing at 28 years old, you're going to be okay.
And let me make sure I'm very clear, because I want to make this is a type of a fellowship in a sense that you're an employee of the school, and so you are having no costs. So there's no student loans involved in this process.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought I understood, but I wanted to make sure what I was agreeing to.
That's great. Well, congratulations, Gabrielle.
Yeah,
That's
way to
a lot of people call into this show for master's or PhD or law degrees. I mean, they come in and usually the answer is like, or they think the answer is like, well, the only way I can do it is student loans. So the fact that even you're finding a program like this, and you're obviously extremely intelligent to work in the fields you work in, and it's great. I think that's really exciting. And at 23, it's very impressive.
Very well
impressive.
Done. Very well done. Do it. Have fun. Yeah, that's going to be great. But I would go as soon as I could.
Yeah.
There's, piling up money in an investment account somewhere to get ready to do this that you don't have to do this is not a necessity. So I would start as quickly as you can quickly as you can get this lined up with someone. Again, you've got to live on what they pay you when you're doing it. To the extent you can't do that, you do have to have some money piled up to subsidize your years. But if you can live on the 33, they're paying 33, and everything else is covered, ding, ding. Mm-hmm. Get after it. I love it. Well done. Graham is in Boston. Hi, Graham. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave, Rachel. How do you feel? I'm calling because I'm getting married in October, and my in-laws, they're gifting us some property, and they're okay with us selling it, but they want us to develop it first, and we don't even have the money for our own, house, down payment. We're working on that right now. But how do we approach this and do it in a way that's respectful towards them?
Well, it's a gift with strings attached because why do they want you to develop it?
They're fine with us selling it, but I guess they want us to, I don't know, put into the community or something, or just try to get more out of the, just get more in the final sale.
Yeah. Well, you're brand new newlyweds. How old are y'all?
We're 30.
Okay. Do you have a bunch of money?
Certainly not.
Okay. So you don't need to be developing real estate.
Yes, we know that, and we're trying to. We want to sell it, but that's just what they're saying. So
yeah, I would just tell them I don't want it. Then I don't want it. You can keep it. If it comes with me having to develop it and I don't have the money to develop it, I don't want it. It's a burden. It's not a gift. These people are weird. That's a control freak move, man.
Well, they're probably thinking.
I know they're trying to be nice, but they're completely interfering.
Yes.
You can't give someone a gift with that many strings attached.
That's right.
That's controlling.
Totally.
It's not a gift. It's not a blessing, Graham. I mean, because you can't do anything with it. You got to sit there and pay taxes on it. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
do you want it, Graham?
I mean, we'd like to sell it for the down payment. It would certainly help us get into a house faster. Yeah. And again, we're trying to, tell them, look, we don't have the money to do this. Yeah. And I mean, we like the down payment money, but
if you require that we develop it before we sell it, we're going to have to turn the gift down because we're not able to develop it. And thank you. We appreciate it. It's very kind of you to offer this, but it doesn't fit with our plan. So, if you require that we develop it before we sell it, then thank you, but we can't accept it. Because we can't do that. And so it doesn't fit with our plan. But thank you. It was very kind. It was a nice offer. And just walk away.
It was an offer, not a gift. Yeah. That's a great way of saying it.
This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not stop thinking of life as an adventure, Eleanor Roosevelt said. You have no security unless you can live bravely, excitingly, imaginatively, unless you can choose a challenge instead of competence. Wow, pretty cool. Good stuff. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Steve is in New York City. Hi, Steve. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Rachel. Long-time listener, Dave. I was hoping to call you and ask for a debt-free screen, but I had to put a pause on it. I came into some money due to a final estate for my mom. So I was hoping to just take the money, pay off the mortgage. But now I have children that are going to begin college next year, and everyone's telling me kind of put the brakes on. I'm just trying to decide where to use this money where it doesn't hurt me, that I have a paid-off home. And that's why you and Rachel were the first ones to come to mind to kind of maybe help me through the situation.
Doesn't hurt you if you had a paid-off home. Are you talking about benefits for college aid or something?
Right. Well, I don't know if having a paid-off home is going to, in terms of what you can get in financial aid, if they look at it as it's a positive for you, but you don't need as much aid because you have a paid-off home.
Well, they don't give aid. There is no college aid programs except for people who are poor, and you're not poor. There's Pell Grants.
Are you talking about like scholarships and stuff?
I'm sorry?
There are not need-based scholarships for people who have the income that you have and the assets that you have. So the need-based scholarships are based on people that don't have any money. And you guys have...
Well, I'm just saying, like financial aid. When you go to these universities, they work with you. But they look at all your financials. You have to fill out the FAFSA form.
I know. And none of them give financial aid based on what's called need-based financial aid to people who have substantial assets like you do. And a good paying job like you do. So there's not Pell Grants show up for somebody who's at the poverty level, is what I'm saying. And the financial aid at individual schools it's all need based, and you're not going to qualify for any of it anyway.
Okay.
And you don't want to put yourself in a position to qualify for that if you don't have to. I mean, like if you got a single mom that's making $20,000 and her kid's going to school, she can get financial aid, okay? That kid can get financial aid. But that's not you, Steve.
And always, Steve, too, that scholarships and grants, I mean...
They're not all need-based.
It's not all need-based either.
You can get scholarships, and they're not all academic, and they're not all... There's scholarships and grants for a little bit of everything. There's scholarships...
Well, maybe that's what I'm getting to. So maybe what I meant, like in terms of scholarships also.
It will not... Having a paid-off house... If you've got $2 million... If your net worth is $2 million and everything's paid for and you have a big old pile of cash in your bank, it doesn't keep her from getting a scholarship that she got based on
playing
her...
the trumpet or whatever.
Based on the fact that she is, wrote an essay and she's a good citizen. Okay, because that you can get a scholarship for that, but they don't look and go, oh, you have to be financially pitiful to get these scholarships. That's not what the case is. So no, do the right thing for your finances. Now, the right thing might be to not pay off your house, and because you may need some money to pay for your kid's college.
Right.
That might be the right thing, but paying off.
How old's your daughter?
17.
Okay. She's getting ready to go. Have you picked out a school? Has she picked out a school? Y'all picked out a school?
No. She'll start next August of 24.
Okay, but you're shopping for schools, and you're looking for And so the thing I want you guys to do is to start studying scholarships. And there's lots and lots and lots of scholarships that are not academic, they're not need-based, and they're not athletics. So you don't have to get an athletic scholarship. You don't have to be a 4.2. Valedictorian, and you don't have to be a single mom making $20,000. You don't have to be any of those things. There's lots and lots of scholarships out there that are just $5,000, $2,000, $1,500 scholarships, and if your daughter applies for a whole bunch of those, and then you guys decide to choose a school that you can afford, where she doesn't have student loans, with the money that you've got from other savings and from this inheritance, then you're going to be in, really, that's the way to get at this. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to send you a copy of our book, Debt-Free Degree, which will help you guys walk through this. And because most of avoiding student loans is picking a school that's affordable.
School choices.
School choice.
Yep.
That's the number one math problem in going to school debt-free. And then number 2 and 3 are work while you're in school and apply for like 100 scholarships, like a bazillion scholarships, and work it that way. That's what I would do. So, but paying off your house does not keep you from getting those types of scholarships if you have the money to do that and get your kid through school. So, good question. Jesse is in Cummings, Georgia. Hi, Jesse. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I'll try to make it quick. So how do you stay on budget when your home school property taxes keep increasing? I already do $1 for dollar. We have no debt except for our house and a little bit of car debt that I plan to have paid off in the next 3 months. We go $1 for dollar on our budget. After taxes and insurance and all the other costs, we have $115,000 in our base take-home pay. And our school budget keeps doubling every year. And I'm not exaggerating. 4 years ago, it was $300 million, and now it's $600 million, and all that comes onto the property owners for our school portion of property tax. So how do you work with your current budget that you have when they don't hold their own budget, but you love your school system and, can't help that your house is now double what they say it is, but you're not moving?
You include your increased cost for taxes in your monthly budget, and if you don't want to do that, you move.
Do you ever at some point hold them, figure out how to hold the system accountable for what they keep doing to the people that they supposedly serve? I guess that's the problem that I'm having.
I think that would just be called getting politically involved in removing some of these school board members that keep passing these onerous budgets. But that's not a budgeting technique. That's just I'm pissed off you people keep spending my money.
Yes, and
it's more at the political level then.
Yeah, it's a political fight because you've got school board members that don't have an off button. I had a pug dog that didn't have an off button. It kept getting fat because it would eat everything in sight. Sounds like these people are kind of the same.
Yeah, it seems like they don't know how to use you.
Yeah, they don't. No is not one of their words, and so it's a word they need to learn. And politicians everywhere, it's universal as long as man has been alive, that when you can spend other people's money, it's always easy to do.
Now, if it's helping teachers be paid more, I am for that. So knowing what they're spending
I don't think the teachers' pay got doubled.
No, that's what I'm saying.
When it went from 300 million to 600 million, I doubt they doubled their teachers' pay.
Yep, which is sad.
I doubt it. I doubt it. That's just somebody doing some kind of other stuff there that's going on.
And also you pay for it. I mean, we're in a nice county and our kids go to public school and it's an amazing school, but you pay for it through the property tax, but that's what we're choosing.
This is not free.
Yeah.
Look what the government gave me for free. Nope, never happened. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.